Hello again, you guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and I have my weekly sales update video for you all. So this is going to be from February 24th through to March the 1st. I had a total of 24 sales, and so I'm going to take you through each one, just Poshmark and eBay again this week, and I'll let you know how much the item sold for, roughly how long it was listed if I can remember, and also where I picked it up from originally. So the first item I have here is a fun one and also a lesson learned. It was this vintage Mickey Mouse Club distressed graphic tee. I cropped this myself, so I had it as just like a general t-shirt, as it were. You can see it's kind of like faded distressed, but I think that just adds to it, honestly. And so it sat in my kind of like procrastination pile for a really long time, knowing that I needed to do something with it because it had some staining down around the bottom hem that I couldn't get out. So I knew that eventually I was going to need to crop it or do something, but I just put it off for as long as I possibly could. And eventually I gave in and did it. And I'm so glad I did, because this sold in less than 2 weeks of being listed. It sold for $17, but this was a filler bag situation, filler bag item. So very, very low cost of goods here. Yeah, and I'm really glad that just with a little bit of upcycling, a little bit of hand cropping there, it sold. So $17 for this item. In case you're wondering as well, my average cost of goods, I mention this each video, but I like to be very transparent. I consider it $1.69 per item, because that is what my average works out to be over the course of like an entire year. Basically, when I'm doing my taxes, it works out as $1.69 per item. All right, next item. This is another upcycled piece. Whoops. Another upcycled piece. So I picked this up in a haul video not too long ago. It's American Eagle, but I picked it up because of the style. So I really liked the neckline. It had that kind of like almost halter sort of trapeze kind of look to it, the way that it flowed. But unfortunately, again, there was some staining around the bottom hem that I thought I was going to be able to get out when I picked it up at the thrift store, and I was not able to remove. So I went ahead and cropped just below the graphics there. Really cool, kind of celestial, like astrological graphics. Again, another reason why I picked it up. And again, this item, hand cropped, sold in less than 2 weeks for $16. So, you know, if you have a really cool item, but it just needs kind of chopped off at the bottom because of a flaw, it is possible. Sometimes it does work. Okay, the next we have is a pair of shoes, and these were, if they'll ever load, Tahari. So not Eli Tahari, however you say that. These were just like the lower end version, but I picked them up in a filler bag, and I picked them up based on their style there. They were faux patent leather, so not real leather, peep-toe Mary Janes, just very, very classic sort of career pieces. And they sold for my full asking price, actually, of $30, which is a little bit more than I thought I was going to get for those. I do send out offers, so I tend to price my items towards the higher end of what I think I might get for them. And then that way I have some flexibility on sending out those offers. Okay, next, vintage LL Bean, light wash, high-rise, tapered mom jeans. Big old mouthful there for the title, but trying to get as many keywords in as possible. Just very, very classic 90s mom jeans. Nice high rise there of 13 inches. Again, filler bag, so I have $1.69 down, but they probably cost me less in reality. And they sold on a best offer for $18, which again is pretty standard for my sort of typical 90s style jeans that I sell. Okay, next is Calvin Klein Performance. I've had this item listed for a really, really long time, probably sort of going on 8, 9, 10 months at this point. I did think it was kind of cool because it had spell out at the back where it actually said like, you know, Calvin Klein and things. It'll pop up here in a second, but it has just sat and sat. So someone actually came along and offered me $20. I was very, very happy with that, happy to move it along, and so I accepted it. And that is all of my Poshmark sales for this week. I only had 5 Posh sales, which is quite a lot less than I usually have. For whatever reason, it was just slower for me this week. So there we go. It happens sometimes. All right, next item. I apologize for this being so slow today. I don't know what's going on, but there we go. Actually, I do know what might be going on. We're having issues with our internet today. I'm in Tennessee, and if you tuned into the news at all, you'll have seen that there was some extremely bad weather, some tornadoes that came through Tennessee and did a number on Nashville. Unfortunately, obviously people were hurt and things, so definitely thoughts and prayers out to them and anybody who's affected by that. But it's obviously trickling down a little bit into Tennessee as well. So in case you're interested, that's what we're dealing with, and it's not much to deal with compared to some people for sure. Okay, J. Crew Collector Tees, floral watercolor graphic t-shirt. Very, very simple piece. I believe this was a J. Crew like factory piece. Picked this up at a thrift store, and it sold in about 2 months of being listed roundabout for $15 on a best offer. Next is Echo, I think that's how you say it, ECCO, black suede leather sandals. They were called tri-straps because there are 3 straps there, and they sold on sale for the price that you see here of $27.99 plus the shipping. I always have the buyers pay shipping on eBay. If I'm on Poshmark and I'm sending out offers, obviously I offer a shipping incentive when I have to, but if I'm not sending out offers, then the buyers pay for shipping there too. All right, this is what I'm referring to when I say Ellie or Ely Tahari here in the title. Black and white underlay scoop drape neck tank top. This is a brand that I always pick up when I find it because I always think it's going to do well because it retails so darn high. And I next to never can sell it. Honestly, it's a small miracle that this sold at all. It sold for a best offer of $14, and I really, really have to think twice now about picking up that brand. It just doesn't move. Its resale value is just not there. Speaking of which, the next item is also a similar issue. It has a very, very high retail value in terms of the brand. It is St. John Sport, not St. John's Bay, St. John Sport. There are a lot of different variations of St. John, but the Sport I personally would not necessarily recommend picking up depending on the piece. I picked this up based entirely on brand, just a very, very simple piece, and it finally sold for a best offer of $8.55 plus the shipping. Guys, I've had this in my store now for well over a year with almost no attention whatsoever. So even though the brand name is there, it does not necessarily mean that the piece is going to sell, and I definitely need to be a bit more specific, a bit more intentional about the pieces that I pick up. I have a St. John blazer right now that is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. It looks like it's covered in blossoms, like floral blossoms. I cannot sell it. It's been almost a year. There we go. Loft white and blue seersucker striped sundress or a tea dress. I have 2 of these, both in the same size 12. One sold for a best offer of $20. The other one is still listed, and I got these at a filler bag not too long ago where there was quite a lot of duplicates. So I did have some things for a while there that I was listing that were several of the same thing, multiple quantity. Okay, Chico's Travelers. This is one of the Chico's lines I still sometimes pick up when I find it. I don't pick up all Chico's. I try to be selective, and I definitely prefer the larger sizes in that particular brand. But this was the slinky knit. That's a great keyword for Chico's Travelers. If that's what you have, you'll know it when you feel it. It's very heavy. It's just the way it's knit together. And this particular piece, this jacket, sold for a best offer of $20. And I did quite like that it had the tropical leaf print as well. I definitely think of that line and those clothes as more kind of like cruise line clothes, if you like. So it definitely would have been appropriate for that. All right. Loading. Here we go. Coldwater Creek beige linen wide leg pants, size 10. I absolutely love to pick up almost all linen wide leg pants, very much that style. They sold for $18.39 on sale. I am somewhat picky on the brand, but overall I just find that style sells really, really well, especially in plus sizes. This is a vintage 90s cropped or crop top swimsuit. This kind of tropical graphic all over it. That sold on sale for $11.99, and that has been in my store for a very long time, over a year at this point. Just not a good buy, just not enough going for it in terms of being a very typical 90s style, and no brand or anything to go with it either. Plus it was only one half of a 2-piece, which can be quite hard to sell as well. This item is a total fail. I don't know what went wrong. It's Zara, but it was a linen blend exposed zipper pencil skirt, so I thought that it was going to do pretty well. I didn't think there would be an issue. It finally sold for $10, finally on a best offer. And again, it's been maybe 2 years at this point that has been in my store. I thought it would do better because it's a very classic career piece and it had a great fabric content and it had a nice style to it, but no, it's just hung around forever. Now, this one did surprise me. Gander Mountain, which is an outdoor store. I'm pretty sure they've closed down now. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but around me at least, they have closed down. And these are child's pants. They were a size 2T, but they were convertible, which is a great thing to keep your eyes open for. It's where the legs basically zip off and they turn into shorts. They were cargo pants, which is great. And that's a fairly desirable style in terms of outdoor wear. So when you find a pair like that, don't forget to stop and look them up and see how they're doing, because you may have something decent on your hands. And they were listed for probably about 4 or 5 months, and again $14.99 is what I sold those child's pants for. Okay, Equipment Femme. This was a fairly new one for me. I picked this up at a thrift store not too long ago. It was listed for around a month. Beautiful blush pink with black sort of not graphic, but like a striped print on it. And it sold on a best offer for $29. Honestly, this hit me on a day where I really needed to get some sales, and it just hit me at the right time, so I decided to accept $29. It was in line with comps. It wasn't unreasonable. I wasn't dropping the value or anything, but it wasn't quite as much as I would have liked to have get for it in a perfect world, but that's okay. I'm happy that it sold, and it sold quickly. Next is Oh My Gauze, which is like a Lag and Look style brand. You can look that up. The term Lag and Look, it's there in the title in case you're wondering how it's spelt. It just refers to a style of clothing, basically very like loose fit, lots of linens, boxy, flowy, really nice style overall, and very popular at the moment. And this piece sold within a week of being listed, but unfortunately did have a very small flaw on it, and so that's what dropped the price. Usually I would have listed it closer to 25, and this one sold on a best offer of 13, which I was happy to accept just because of the flaw, basically. All right, next item is a Free People item, and it's an item I've had in my store for quite a while. I just don't think the style was really on trend. It's a very specific style, very chunky knit, long cardigan, long hooded cardigan I should say, with like flared arms and things like that. It sold for $25 on a best offer. I had it up for $50, which really was reaching for the stars I think with this particular piece. Like I said, just a very specific style, very heavy to ship as well, and bearing in mind that my buyers do pay shipping, and so it's been listed probably for about 8 or 9 months at this point, and I was happy to take their best offer of $25 plus shipping and get it moving on its way. Okay, I picked up all kinds of these at a filler bag not long ago, just tons and tons of vintage mock turtleneck crushed velvet tops. They were all different colors, all different brands, but all vintage. I don't know why they were there, but I grabbed them all, and I'm slowly selling them. So this one sold on a best offer of $20. Yeah, I don't know, very 90s, kind of have that like grungy feel to them. I thought they were really cool, and I think that they will just sort of steadily sell as we go. All right, next is a jacket, and I took a best offer on this because we are definitely coming out of jacket and coat season right now, and I've had it for a while, about 6 months. I picked it up completely based on style. So it was vintage, it was Denim & Company, which is not a fantastic brand, but the thing that really got me, I love that it was a duffel jacket or duffel coat with those big old like wooden toggles, first of all. But I absolutely loved the lining. You can see on the photograph the lining, just this like really thick fleece, very like southwestern feel. Again, needed to wait for the right buyer, but I thought it was really cool. So I accepted a best offer of $30, which is sort of 50% off of my asking price. But again, this item was such a heavy item to ship. They paid almost $10 in shipping alone, and it's a big old piece to store as well. And so since we were coming out of jacket and coat season, I decided to let it go for $30 and ship it off. All right, the next item was at no cost to me. These were my husband's jeans. He's just clearing out his closet, and so I figured I'd throw a few things up onto eBay and see if they would sell. As you can see from the photos, like the cuffs and stuff, or the hems, if you like, of the jeans are like pretty scuffed and worn and things like that. They're Denizen from Levi's, so they're just Target brand. They don't cost a lot anyway to buy. So I decided to lot 2 pairs up and see what I could get, and I got $11 plus shipping. At the end of the day, I'll take $11 rather than just driving them over to the thrift store. If I can get a little bit of money, that's wonderful. Just reinvest that in new jeans for him. Hey, what can I say? Next is Life is Good Women's XL, so it's a good size, and it's not like the typical Life is Good I'm used to seeing with the little cartoon like stick figures. This just had deck chairs and the text "We Time," and this one was listed for about 3 months, I think, and I accepted a best offer on that item for $12, which was a little lower than I like to take for Life is Good. I like to try and keep it around 15, but hey, what are you gonna do? The next item is something so far out of my wheelhouse, I don't know why I grabbed it. They were a pair of, I don't know if they were vintage, they kind of look vintage, don't they? Cross-country ski boots. The brand was Aurora. It took me forever to try and figure out what on earth I had when I picked them up. This was another like filler bag, rummage sale situation, and I just decided to grab it and see like what all I could figure out. I don't know. I took a best offer of $20 because I've had them in my store now for almost a year probably. Again, very, very specific item. This was the first offer I'd ever had on them, so I was happy to take it. I don't know if I would pick them up again, although I'm happy with $20 when I didn't invest very much in them. However, they were quite big to store, so that is something that tends to affect me and the way my inventory is set up at the moment. All right, the very last item today for eBay and for the week was American Eagle red and green plaid button-up shirt with like a ruffle detail on the front, and this sold for full asking price of $16.99 plus shipping. All right, so here come the numbers for the week. My gross sales for the week were $438.99. My cost of goods for the week for every single item that I showed you here, I paid a total of $40.56. My fees for the week, so these are the fees to sell on the platforms, I consider 20% across the board. 20% is what Poshmark is, and eBay tends to be a little bit less when you combine it, like look at eBay and PayPal fees and stuff, but I like to keep it 20% just to be super consistent and transparent, and to also account for things like the fact I have a store subscription. So 20% of my gross sales was $87.80 towards these platforms for the privilege of selling on them. And so that makes my net profit for this week $310.63. So it wasn't phenomenal by any stretch of the imagination, but it also wasn't too bad. I'm still trying to get sort of 10 listings up a day if I can, but I'm very, very busy at the moment with a whole bunch of stuff going on in our family life. So, you know, you do what you can at the end of the day, and hopefully these numbers can be maintained and worked upon so that they can keep growing as we go into springtime. Bring it on, I say. All right, you guys, let me know down in the comments how your sales are going. I hope you and yours are all staying safe and healthy and all that good stuff. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you enjoy thrifty reselling content, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, you guys.